Hi guys. Happy New Year, even though I think I said that in the last video, but oh, I'm just so excited for this video. Excuse me if I don't communicate effectively because we're in a Mercury in retrograde. And I know some of you are like, oh, she's an astrology freak. Well, I'm not that much of an astrology freak, but when you've been slapped around by Merc the Jerk a couple of times during this retrograde season, you kind of start believing it. So sometimes my communication skills get off, but this video I would like to call is like the first step to healing. So, what is the first step to healing? Well, the first step to healing is bringing awareness to the issues. So, I'm sure most of you who have come here and seen this video or seen other videos of gone to counseling have had parents and friends say there's something wrong. You kind of realize, oh, there is something wrong. Well, what's wrong with me? I can't stop anxiety. I can't stop PTSD. I can't stop depression. There's no cure. I know for sure they say PTSD has no cure. Uh, I can't move past this. Well, it's okay. It is perfectly and completely fine that you have anxiety, depression, PTSD, lack of confidence, feel unworthy, feel stupid, ugly, any negative feelings. That's okay because obviously these feelings come up for a reason, and it's actually quite a logical reason, and those reasons are something traumatic happened to you. Now, like the event could be like something like a bullying experience that may to others seem not traumatic at all, but to you it seems really traumatic because it hurts you in the heart, in the core of the matter, who you are, all those things. And I mean, it can go from like, you know, leaving a baby alone for like a minute to, child abuse or war or even worse things. So the first step is knowing that you are perfectly and completely normal. You are. Because the fact of the matter is that most people are dysfunctional. As sad as that is. And what makes the matter worse, what makes anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar disorder, any type of mental condition, psychological, emotional, even physical, is trying to repress it. And if you keep on repressing it over and over and over and internalizing it in your body, not only does it make you feel like shit at the end of the day because you're not dealing with your emotions, and two, it puts stress on your body. So as you continue to repress all these feelings, you actually are making your body ill physically. Like all the stress on your system is going to make your immune shut down and cause illness. And usually people don't really start healing until they see a physical manifestation of their problems. So, for example, cancer or PTSD attacks or anything else for that matter. It could be a pain in your stomach, but that the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. It could be a variety of things. But what I'm here to tell you in this video is that it's okay. It's okay if you're angry. It's okay if you're hateful. It's okay if you're upset. It's okay if you're sad. It's okay if you feel like you are the scum of the earth. It's okay. Of course, you're not those things. You probably are an amazing human being. You probably do a lot for people, you know, but you still have those feelings, and I want you to know that it's okay. Because that's knowing what your feelings are and knowing what triggers those feelings are a huge step on the healing path. It really is. If you go to a doctor and you have symptoms and you tell the doctor, then the doctor can diagnose you. And if they get the diagnosis correctly, then you can essentially cure or heal those symptoms and the core issue. Now, the problem is, as amazing as doctors are, they're human, one, and two, some things they just can't diagnose. They can't tell you what the real problem is because they're not you. Because you are the only person who could heal you. No one else can. And another important thing to acknowledge, besides your feelings, is whether or not you have a victim mentality. And I'll probably do a separate video about victim mentality because it is so important. Because a lot of people have a victim mentality. That someone else has my power. Or, all this stuff happens to me and I can't do anything about it, and what if he doesn't like me, or what if she doesn't like me, or if I do this then they'll hurt me. And it's like, no, you are the one with the power. And it's hard. It really is really hard to get out of that mentality, especially if you've had that mentality since you were a little kid. Because that's your foundation. And I'll go over this more in depth in another video because it needs to be addressed, because most of our society is victim mentality, and even our conventional medicine is victim mentality. But the first things first is figuring out what is wrong, what triggers it, why you feel that way, the core issues, all that jazz. So what you can do, because I'm assuming that you're watching these videos having some vague understanding of what's wrong. Well, now it's time to go more in depth. So you need to ask yourself questions. I know, it's really hard to be alone and ask questions, and I'm not being facetious because it was hard for me at first too. But it just depends what type of person you are. You could look at yourself in the mirror and ask a series of questions like, who am I? Why did this event cause me to react that way? Why am I so upset? If this was the worst case scenario, why do I not want this to happen? How would I react to the worst case scenario? Is it a good reaction or is it a bad reaction? Or you could go through your past of how you have reacted to certain reactions and ask yourself, why did you react that way? Now, this is kind of hard because you're not in the moment and you're looking at it as time has passed, so you have a different perspective. But once you start looking at your past, then you can start looking at your present, and then you can do it automatically as stuff is happening. So one of the biggest things, especially if you're an adult or what's the term? A teenager, or not 13. Well, I mean, you can do this at 13, but usually older teenagers start doing this. Look at your family. Look at your family dynamics. What was your childhood like? Ask questions about that, because your childhood is so important, because it's during your developmental stage, and it's while you're building your foundation, and the foundation is so important. It is so important. Because if there's a crisis, there's still that foundation, which I'll talk about the foundation definitely in the next video. But right now, I just want to ask, give you some questions. I also will put some links underneath, the description of like how to recognize your problems, how to see the triggers, and also this awesome book that I'm actually using as my muse called Anatomy of the Spirit by Caroline Myss. She is a medical intuitive and has helped many, many people heal themselves of various illnesses, mental, emotional, and physical. And it's helped me a lot in realizing how I can help others and also looking back at my own healing journey. Which is also ironic because when I started coming up with these videos, I was thinking, oh, I'm done with my healing journey. Now I can teach others. And it was like, bam! Universe put a situation in front of me that I needed to heal, that I didn't realize that I needed to heal. So I've been going through these processes as I've been making these videos, which is actually really beneficial for you guys. So I'm actually glad that the universe slapped me in the face. Another important aspect is the denial stage. You hear that a lot in grief, but every traumatic event that you go through a grieving period. And that grieving period could be 10 to 20 years, depending on the trauma and how much it has affected you. So this stage, the denial, what I would rather say is rest or hibernation stage, is where you're numb, where you're cut off from your emotions. Because the traumatic event was so traumatic and you're so close to the fire that all you can do is just cut off the emotions, just so you can survive everyday life. And that is okay, because that is really important too. I went through my numb, denial, rest, hibernation phase for 3 years. 3 years since I left my abusive dad. And it was tough. I just was completely and totally numb. Just numb. All I did was work. That's all I did. I cared about school. I was like, okay, I need to get A's. I need to get A's. I need to make sure I get like a really high A on this test. And that's all I cared about. I didn't care about boys. I mean, I had friends, but I didn't like allow them in my house. I didn't really hang out with them outside of school or anything like that. I didn't go to dances. I didn't do anything really that extracurricular outside of school. But I needed that time. I needed that time to rest from that traumatic event, those traumatic events for me. It could be just one for you, or it's most likely multiple. And the numb stage is awful, but it is so important. Resting your body, letting time heal for a little bit is so important. If you're in the numb stage, allow that to be. You don't have to fight against it. Only when you're ready to heal, can you truly heal. If you try to heal yourself when you're not ready, and if you don't want to process your feelings, it's just not going to happen at all. It's actually going to backfire on you. Because that's just how the universe is. It backfires when you try to push it. Yeah. But there's also a balance, because you don't want to go in this numb stage for too long. You don't want to be numb for 10 years. I mean, if you need to be numb for 10 years, what am I to say? I can't judge. I didn't go through your situation. You didn't go through mine. So if you need 10 years, maybe you need 10 years. But For me, I would not be able to do 10 years. That would be too much. So there has to be a balance, because if you're trying to push too hard to heal, it's going to backfire on you. If you're just lackadaisical and just want to be numb and don't want to change, you'll kill yourself. You literally will kill yourself. Because I'm not going to go into this into detail, even though I'm really passionate about it. This will be another video, or like aspects of videos in the future. But it will kill yourself physically, because it's putting so much stress on your body. So there has to be a balance, a yin and a yang. I want you to think about that, because a lot of self-help videos are overly positive. Which, you know, it's good to be positive, but it's unrealistic. The most realistic thing that you can do is become balanced. Your dark side and your light side. In this world, I don't know about other dimensions or other worlds, or even if they exist, but in this world, in our earth, the best thing that you can do is be balanced. Now, in the next series of videos, since I am taking the Muse of Anatomy of Spirit by Caroline Myss, I'm going to do each video by chakras. So some of you might not be very familiar with chakras. You have the root chakra at the base of your spine, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and crown. 7 chakras, or 7 main chakras that I want to be able to format this in. So the next video will be about the root chakra, and the root chakra is your foundation. It's your family life, it's your stability, and really it's where a lot of your trauma lies. Now, there are definitely certain traumas that live in certain chakras, but when it comes to childhood trauma, the root chakra is the main one. And although if you see other self-help videos or talk to other spiritual people or metaphysical people, or, you know, Eastern religions or anything like that, they'll say that, well, some of them will say that the root chakra is not important. It's all about the third eye and the heart and the crown. And it's like, no. The root chakra is so important because it keeps you grounded and stable and balanced. So I hope to hear from you guys soon. If you guys need any advice about your personal situation, please email me at omniscience.alchemy@gmail.com, which I will have it written down in the description. And I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I wanted to keep it under 20 minutes so you can get an idea, and if you needed more specifics, you could email me. So I hope you guys have a great day. And, happy new moon in a couple of days too. Hope to see you soon. Bye.